Happy Monday. I am so excited. We have hit yet one more Monday in 2021. And I wanted to say, how are you doing today? Welcome to MinkLife Motivation Live. My name is Monica Henderson, and I am the founder and creator of this beautiful show and this beautiful community. And so I wanted to get this party started, shall we? Because we have lots to cover today. And I'm going to bring on some special guests, and we're going to have lots of conversations. So let's just dig right on into it. Welcome to MinkLife Motivation Live. Our mission here is to help you with your personal business brand and network development so that you can come together each week with us to get motivated, stay inspired, keep networking, and gain knowledge so that you can live a life that is designed by you, for you, healthier, wealthier, and fulfilled. I know that you are excited to figure out what's coming up today, and we are talking about the hero's mission. This month is all about your hero's journey, and we're going to dive into the question about how entrepreneurs can actually help in this pandemic. To help you get motivated, I will be joined by my lovely co-host, Andrea Gewirtz, who is the Wellness and Thrive Strategist at WellBeing and Worth, and also a MinkLife Motivation Master Trainer. We also have joining us today as a co-host, Marcia McCray, and she is the principal and founder of the Brand Naked Agency, and also a MinkLife Motivation Trainer as well. And last but not least, our newest co-host, we have Peggy Warny, who is the owner and photographer at Headshots by Peggy and a dynamic speaker 3 times over of the next global virtual conference. So excited to have you ladies. Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning or afternoon.
I'm like, it's afternoon.
Afternoon. Well, morning, evening, some places. But this week we're actually talking to people from all over the world. We have an international cast this week. So Chris Wildeboer is actually the founder of the Balance Central, and she has been nominated for Business and Charity Awards, co-authored a best-selling book, and it is morning for her because she is in Australia. I believe it's 5 or 6 a.m.
6 a.m. now. Yep.
6 a.m. So yes, we do have a good morning on the group. And then we have Batista Gurman, and she is an international body designer, #1 best-selling author, and empowerment speaker, but also both of these ladies are dynamic speakers with the conference. Hey, Batista, how's it going?
Excellent. Hi.
And then we're
happy to be here.
We also have Wanda Pearson. Wanda is the founder of WD and Associates and is a consultant for entrepreneurs. She's a speaker, a thought leader, and she does all of this about legal protection for small businesses. So welcome, Wanda, to the show.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here with you all.
I am so excited, and usually we have a little bit of girl chat before this, but there's more of us today, and I know we're going to get into these juicy topics, so I want to go ahead and get started with the first question. How can small businesses help us recover from this pandemic? Let's see who's going to be the opening act in this lovely section. I think I'll give it to one of the veterans so that they can set the bar for the group. So Andrea, do you mind going first?
I would be delighted. No. So there's a joke for those of you who are new that I always have to go last. So she's like making a big deal about me going first. So I'm going to say, how can we small business owners like help us recover from the pandemic? And it's going to sound a little, I thought, what's the first thing that came to my mind as the question went across the screen? And I said, we have to be the hope that we can pull through this. We have to show up every day and offer whatever we do, and so that it inspires people to pull through, and pull through and show up and put out, so to speak, because right now we're all really struggling with, maybe not in Australia, but really struggling with the pandemic taking over and and being so debilitating in a lot of places. So showing up, doing your business, helping others innovate, charge, change, develop is going to be the way we pull through, by collectively saying that we can do this, we can, and do it.
Absolutely. It's, I always say this, entrepreneurs are that group of wildcats, mavericks, who can help.
Yeah.
What about Wanda? Wanda, what would you say? How can entrepreneurs be the hero to saving us in this pandemic?
Well, helping each other, because we all have an expertise, right? And helping each other with our resources, being able to communicate and collaborate. Collaborating is so important because a lot of us are small businesses, home-based businesses, and having that to reach out and say, oh, this person can help you here, this person can help you there. That's so important, to be able to help each other, because small businesses, what's going on with us in the world today, we need each other. We need each other to support each other, to collaborate each other. And I do a lot of webinars where I like to bring small businesses in there and talk about their business to help them get out there. So that's my take.
Absolutely. The MinkLife community, the motivator community is just that, right? A bunch of collaborators and people who really kind of advocate to support each other. Peggy, what about you? What would you say, why is the hero of the time, the entrepreneur?
When I first saw the question, I think my mind kind of went the same place that Andrea did. It was like, we are the hope, we're kind of the hope. But I think it's even more than that too, is small businesses really have they have their thumb on the heartbeat of the community, and keeping that economy moving and keeping the community going, and really understanding what each community needs. That's why I always say support small businesses anyway, but during this time, it's even more important, because that small business has your community in their mind, not corporate wealth and, the corporate office, blah, blah, blah. They really care about their community, and we're the ones that are going to get that ball rolling and get things back on its feet, because we care, because it matters to us. We have to bring our communities back.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. One of the things that I've always said is, if you want to know how an economy is doing, check on your small businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the people who believed enough in the dream of whatever economy you're in, enough to go out there and create a solution for their community. They didn't do it because they're, a huge corporation. They did it because there was a need locally. So I think you're absolutely right on that. Chris, did you want to add to the conversation?
Absolutely. Agree with all three ideas in there. I think also what I could add is that as entrepreneurs, as we have that heart and soul, particularly this period of time that we're all in. And yes, Australians, as much as we're not quite in the same situation as you guys, we are still being impacted by the pandemic, but we have this heart and soul that allows us to naturally innovate. So we're the ones that can show the way. The other thing that I've seen in the pandemic is that we've been asked to go within, literally, into our homes, but also a little bit more inward. And I think entrepreneurs actually do that really effectively, because we're forced to, and we have to dig deep and bring that strength through. So it's a natural ask for us to be able to show up and bring that strength forward, and just show that the strength is possible and we can rely on ourselves.
Yeah, that definitely ties into the whole concept that Andrea had introduced about us being the hope, the resistance to the failure, right? Entrepreneurs are asked to fail fabulously all the time. And so it is kind of our strength, right? Like despite no matter what, we keep pressing through. And so I think you guys are absolutely right on that. Marcia?
So I would say the hope, like Andrea said, and of course, like Peggy said, see, I'm mad because you made me go like near last. So they got everything. So anyway.
I saw you go,
I
Peggy
was like,
took my word.
oh. But I'm just going to elaborate on those. So I would say the hope, as far as the inspiration of the big ideas, the entrepreneurs are the ones that have those big ideas, and that inspires other people to get moving, or to partake in their product or service, the entrepreneur's product or service. Also, as far as, it's not only the heart of the community, Peggy, but I would say it's the heart of the whole country. It's the pulse of the country. So America is run, honestly, by small businesses. Yeah, we got giants too, but I think for the most part, in my opinion, I think that they're run by small businesses. That's what feeds the economy. I mean, look at the restaurants and things like that are having challenges now. They're going out of business. I mean, yeah. So, but yeah.
What, Batista, sadly, you got the very last of it, but
You know me, I'm never short on words. So, I think that entrepreneurs and small business owners are the work the hardest of everyone. I think that we're just working around the clock. We're so inspired with our purpose, and that's why we're entrepreneur. But I also see that sometimes we get so caught up in the doing of the business and the doing that it's very easy to lose the balance between personal health and to create that balance into our life. And since this is my field of expertise, obviously that's what I look at. And so I think that one thing that is very important is for each and everyone to realize that you need to take breaks, you need to get off Zooms, you need to go take a walk, you need to breathe, you need to drink water, you need to keep your strength up. Because in my world, strength, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual is all connected.
Yeah.
And we can be very, very strong go-getters, and I am, and we all are. That's why we're here and we're fighting, and we are the hope, and we are the breath of the country, the city, our families. We hold the ship together. But also, a burnout could be right around the corner if we don't learn to take that step back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's my message, and that's what I do. I try to get people to.
Well, I mean, just the mere fact that is what your mission is, and how what we have been touting, right, as small, tiny entrepreneurs in our corners of the world, to the people who we finally get our hands on, is, hey, I have something that will help you grow, right? And no one wanted to hear us until everybody was on the same playing ground. Now all of a sudden the corporations are exactly in the same place we all are. And you're hearing on the news, right, that they're saying mental health is really important for you to beat this pandemic. They're telling you on the news that exercise and getting regular exercise is something you need to do in order to not get the virus, to be less susceptible to getting the virus, and to not lose your mind when your kid is loudly having school on a Zoom call in another room, right? That all of these things are super important for us to get through this time. But the other interesting part, I think that, and like even Wanda, like I'm sure your services are now more, like people are like, so about that will and testament, right? About that,
Yes.
about that trust, right? All of a sudden, now all of the things that we had all been preaching for years about how important our services were going to be to help someone, now we have a little bit of a captive audience. And so I think now that we all have this even playing field called Zoom and social media, because even our newscasters are newscasting from their homes via Skype, that we all have the opportunity to take advantage of this time, really activate the and incite excitement behind what we're doing and urgency behind what we have been doing for years, to get people prepared for this very moment that we had been saying. How many of you, by show of hands, have been telling people that this is coming? You know, that you're going to need my services.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help you when something bad happens, right? And now something bad has happened, and now we're all. So, you ready to have that conversation? I've been telling people for years, you know, that you have to have a plan for your business, and you have to have an exit strategy. And now it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people didn't have those action plans. So I'm super excited to have the Avengers that are here on this call. This is like one of those superhero gathered moments. And I just wanted to share why this batch of amazing, dynamic, phenomenal women are so important to me. And this is about, you know, staying inspired. And so the conference itself, you know, our theme is always, it's time to level up. And we are really talking about activating the hero within. And I and the team have pulled together lots of superheroes, all of which are in front of you right now, but there are some more who are supporting us as well, to help you activate your hero. And last week when you know, the girls and I were talking about this, and we were telling you that you actually have everything you need in order to be successful and get through this. You just have to activate it. And so I wanted to remind everyone about why we're doing this conference. And the conference is really designed to, it exists because in this new normal of pandemics and, you know, like not having to function in the way that we are used to functioning, we are collectively coming together to level up by crafting a new strategy to grow our lives, our businesses, because now, more than ever, it is time for you to become the best possible version of yourself. If you don't want to do it for you, do it for the millions of people who did not make it through this pandemic today. And so the question I have for the group is, what do you do to stay activated in your own business? So this time, because Batista was at the very end, I will let her go first, and we'll reverse the thing so that everyone gets a chance to be the last one while all the good ideas were taken.
Okay, so what I do to stay activated. Okay, so last year I did a lot of Zoom mentoring and a lot of reaching out to different mentors and learning, really learning different ways of looking at things, because even though we were online 4 years ago, it's not only the business model that has shifted, but it's the entire perspective on how we do life, how we live, right? And so last year I did a lot of that. Okay, I hired a couple of mentors and looked at, just really dug really deep in to see how I can grow as a human being, a person, and change my perspective. I did so much of that I burned out a little bit, and I burned out a little bit. And so this year, my new commitment is to, and somebody spoke about that earlier in the question before, is to really go within and be very discriminating of where I spend my energy. Okay, because I made an inventory of everything that I've done last year, and there's a lot of really great things, but I see that there was a lot of energy that was dripped in areas where, you know, where it wouldn't, I didn't need to, but, you know, there was a little bit of that desperation type thing of, you know, we got to pull through. So my commitment for this year is really to have more balance. And I believe that even the balance within my own relationship with my husband, my personal life, which kind of fell a little bit through the crack last year, I have to say, I'm sorry to say that. And I just want to bring everything back into balance. So that's my commitment for me, because I think that when you do that, then you're a better person and you can do better business and you can be a better example. Because as a business owner, and the field that I'm in, I lead by example. I walk the talk, and that has to be in every area of my life. I can't just work out and that's all my life is about and that's my business, and everything falls through the cracks. That's not what it's about. And it was a little bit what it was about last year, and not this year, not happening. So that's my plan for this year. Just really integrate more areas, more balance, and keep showing up. And
I love that the statement you said about I have to lead by example, not just in what I do in my own business, but in all the other areas as well. That is just that. If I could pull one immediate nugget for people to have, sometimes in setting an example to save someone else, you then save yourself, right? And so that is, thank you for that. That was lovely. Marcia.
I would say I stay activated in my business by looking at the bigger picture, keep looking back at the bigger picture for my life and business. So I've learned the hard way not to just look at just the business side, but to look at both, because they need to be in harmony. As Batista said, we can really get burned out and do some horrible things to ourselves, and we will be no good to no one else, so it's important that we have that harmony and take care of ourselves so that we can go out there and be sheroes or heroes, for others, Also, I consistently look at what it is that I want to do, like the steps that I want to do that lead to that big vision, and it's funny you said, Batista, your word for this year, mine is unbreakable focus. And so it's constantly staying focused on the goal that I have for my business and my personal life, and just keep moving towards that, no matter how dark it may get, no matter how dark. That gives me hope. And I think about the people that I'm going to reach through my life and my business. And that gives me the hope to keep moving.
Chris, what about you?
Well, I love what Marcia just said, because I'm almost the opposite. So I focus on getting emotionally stable. That means every morning, that is getting my emotions and an affirmation for the day set in place. And I've done that for about the last 5 years. So I joked at the beginning of 2020 that I was preparing for COVID for the last 10 years, because I didn't know at the time, but I needed to be as stable as possible, so that as everyone else is falling apart, I actually was able to get a sense of what was going on with them, but not be falling apart. So I love the detail. I love the focus. So I naturally do that focus and discipline and consistency. That's just my natural way of being. So for me, moving forward into 2021 is actually about keeping space, because I need to remember to go higher and look at the bigger picture. And it's so easy to go down into the detail for me. Yes. I will just do that all the time, but that keeping space and having that wider view is really, really vital. So for me, it's about looking after myself. Ultimately, it's the classic. I can't look after anyone else, whether it's family, friends, clients, unless I'm okay.
No,
so
it's true.
I have to do everything to be okay.
Yep, absolutely. That's excellent.
Oh yeah. I'm telling y'all, like, I love these people. And to be honest, you know, each of you that have been on this call, we've had deeper conversations outside of this. So those of you who are watching this in Facebook land, you're getting a preview to the width and depth of the wisdom that comes from the tribe that I've collected over the years to surround myself with. Or over the year, I should say, over the last 9 months that I have collected to surround myself with. So when Chris is talking about keeping space, I still have her posted behind my computer right now that I'm looking at, because she shared that intention in one of our power mixer masterminds, and I was like, oh, that's good. I'm keeping that. And so flutters. I just love this group of people. Okay, so Peggy, what about you?
I'm so glad you asked me next, because just like Chris said, oh, actually, I'm the opposite of Marcia. I wanted to say, I feel like I'm almost the opposite of Chris in that it has been very, very obviously pointed out to me very recently that I always take care of everyone else, and I take care of myself, and I take care of everything. And I think that I have to trust and rely on my tribe and allow them in to help me. This is fresh in case you see Andrea and I, we had a little talk earlier today, but it really is true. And in fact, you know, I was talking earlier to Merrick about sometimes we get in that rut that we've got this, and it's not something that we do consciously. It's absolutely subconsciously that we push the people that, you know, the universe brought to us to help us. We push them away. And if you were to tell me, Peggy, you're pushing away people that are here to help you, I'd say, no, I'm not. They're just not helping me right. I don't know what I would say. But you know, it's absolutely a subconscious thing, because you get so I had kind of a different childhood than probably most. I pretty much took care of I raised myself. Like I was on my own, you know, a majority of the time. Like I always had to make sure my things were taken care of really early on. So I've just always been that person that, you know, if it's going to get done, I need to do it. So I'm sure it's done right, and that I'm okay, and that my kids are okay, and that my family's okay, and that my business is okay. But that's not always the best thing. We, you know, look at just this panel. Every single one of us, you know, are here to help each other and to help all the viewers. You know, we're here to ultimately do what we can to help you survive and thrive in this time. And it's just, so that would be my objective in 2021, is to put those walls down and embrace the tribe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So for those of you who resonate with Peggy's story of I take care of me and everybody else around me, and that is my place in the world. There is a moment that I try to remind people. It feels good to help people, right? And you get great gratification from helping that. But when you don't allow another person to help you, you are depriving them of that joy.
It's true.
Right? You're literally robbing them of the ability to get that great joy in helping you. So so those of you who resonate with where Peggy is coming from, and trust me, there's probably a couple of us on this call who also feel the same way. I got this. I don't need no help. The reality is, if you enjoy giving, imagine how the people who love you enjoy giving to you, and allow them the joy of being a blessing to you as well. So I'm trying to make sure I get the right order. So Wanda.
Well, you guys have just really said it all. So me coming from being a social worker, I always like to help everybody else. And people say, Wanda, you do too much for everybody else, and then I don't do for myself. So I'm like Batista. I got to start taking time for myself. And actually, I was talking to Monica earlier, because I'm always helping everybody else. And the biggest thing is, like, I tell my husband, okay, now I'm trying to train him to say, you need to take care of yourself. So having that mentality and coming out of corporate and going into networking. Last year, I was named a networking queen, right? So then I had to pivot and get into this year with the COVID. So I'm gonna tell you one thing I always said: I would never do Facebook Live. Never say never.
Welcome to our Facebook Live.
Never say never. I'm telling you. And I got on there and I started enjoying it. I said, oh, this is good. So I started doing more Zoom calls. I started doing webinars. So you're cultivating to what I'm doing now. I'm doing a lot more webinars with entrepreneurs and getting, like I was saying, as far as helping each other. So having that and that social work mentality and trying to let I'm an educator as well, coming from IBM too, I educate. So I like to educate people with that. But yeah, just remembering that and then taking time for me and the business, that's what I have to separate. So I'm gonna tell you, just before this call, my brother called me, my back is hurting because I did too much yesterday. So I'm sitting on the couch and I said, now, and thank God for Leanne, my virtual assistant, because my girlfriend said, well, you need a virtual assistant. I can go do that now. I can go sit down. So my, how what they say, resolutions for 2021 is to get back into shape, get back into doing that yoga that I missed doing, getting back into time for me. So that's how I'm going to activate the new year.
I know a great body developer on this call who could get you right, just saying. Andrea?
So I liked so many of the things that everybody said today in terms of being like staying activated in my business. And yes, like Batista, from a health point of view, without your health, you have no wealth. You can't build anything. So of course, I'm very self development centric, like that meditation time, that quiet time, those things that you do to center yourself per Chris, like just so that you can hold space for everybody else is right up there. And so, but I love that. I think by and large, everyone talked, they didn't say balance, which I really appreciated because I was going to smack anybody who said it. And I'm going to say, I'm like, no balance, it's harmony. And having harmony is far easier for our unconscious minds to accept. It's like balance can only be a yes or a no, right? Like there's really, and so getting really comfortable with things being harmonious is way better for the self, mind, body, and spirit by and large. And so staying activated, yes, I take care of myself so that I can experiment and like have my explorations of what would be clever next to bring to my people. Like, I can't wait to do this with so and so, or I'm going to try this out so I can do X, Y, and Z with this client or with that client. That is how I stay activated, by having that core that's intact. And Monica, who works with me closely, knows that when my core is gone, don't talk to Andrea till she gets back, because she's going to be like just thinking about getting it back together. And so to get that core and to keep it, be in community. I don't think I would have made it through COVID. We're not through COVID, but I don't think I would have had as much joy and lift if I hadn't been tapped to come help Monica with MinkLife. And she's like, hey, what you doing? Let's come do this. And I'm enamored and in love with all the people I meet here in this community. And so you all keep me activated to keep me on purpose as I meet new ones and everything like that. Know that principle of like community is huge, and I'm just so grateful. So I stay in gratitude too. That's the other thing. Gratitude for all the great good things that have come through this painful time for so many. So
yeah, I would say there's a saying of each one teach one. And that is actually how I stay activated in my business. Every time I learn something, I'm excited to share it with everybody who will listen to me. Anybody and everybody. Oh, there's this new app, or oh, there's this new way of doing this, or I read this podcast, or I did this, and how Andrea was talking about community, she's 100% right. I was talking to a friend yesterday yesterday was Sunday. Yes, that was yesterday. Long days, guys. So I was talking to a friend when I was walking around the grocery store I hadn't talked to in a while. And she's like, so you're the networking queen. You're used to being out and about and everywhere. And you guys go to this and you go to that and this museum and this party and this networking thing and that networking thing. How are you dealing with all of this? And I was like, oh no, I was like, oh no, I don't go anywhere. I just stay home and go to the grocery store. That's my weekly outing out of my space is to the grocery store. And she's like, oh my gosh, that has to be painful for you, you know, because you guys were everywhere. And I was like, you know, I didn't skip a beat, didn't miss anything. I spend a lot of time connected to a community of people, and I spend a lot of time, my brain got so much exercise last year. My body did not get as much, so Batista and I are going to be working.
We're calling you, girl.
Right? Body did not get as much exercise as the brain did, but I got to learn so much last year. I had to learn some things I didn't want to learn. Mm-hmm. Thank you for all of those dark forces. But I also got to learn so much about different countries, different cultures. I got to learn so much about my own business and what I wanted for myself, and what I learned a lot about me, learned a lot about my friends, learned a lot about my kid, because, you know, I usually send her away for lots of hours at a time and then see her for an hour over dinner. But she's here all the time. Thank you, pandemic. And so I got to learn a lot about, you know, people who I thought I knew a lot about already. And so the staying activated has been really kind of being connected to this community of amazing people who like are refusing to be overcome by the pandemic and who are refusing to let these scenarios beat them, and their refusal helps me keep my resolve of refusal so we can switch places when we're losing it a little bit. Okay, I'll be the strong one today. You can lose it. Okay, now you be the strong one today. I'm gonna lose it, right? Like we have that community of going back and forth like that. And then we are sharing all the time. Okay, I just learned this, or we figured out this hack in life, or we figured out this hack in business, or we just heard this research. And so I never felt alone. And a lot of people are like, this is a lonely time, and I'd like to beg to differ. We were blessed to do this pandemic when we had the technology that would allow us to stay connected, and not only allowed to stay connected, but to be connected to people we would have never been connected to ever in life. Chris and I would have never crossed paths. Let's be honest. It would have had to been like a quadrillion to one to cross paths, because I have never been to Australia. I don't think she comes to LA very often.
I've been there twice, but no,
twice.
Not since 2012.
Right. She's been here twice in 2012, and I'm in a city that has millions of people in it. So the likelihood of us crossing paths would have been like really low. And so really community and being attached to amazing people like this helped me stay 100% activated, and then being able to help them and see them push forward, that also helped me stay super activated. And I'm hoping that we can add you watching in Facebook land to this group of activated heroes who save each other. Every person on this call has saved me at some point this year, has saved me from something. And they are all heroes in my book. So this is how I was able to stay activated. So because it's my sole job to move us along and not get too winded so we can stay on task, I wanted to give us an opportunity to keep networking. And before I introduce our next question, I have a lovely quote, which is, all the best heroes are ordinary people who make themselves extraordinary. And this is by Gerard Way. And the question that I have for my lovely batch of heroes here is, who should come to see you talk at the conference? Since I am not talking at the conference, this does not pertain.
Nor am I.
Nor am I. Neither am I.
That's just our guess.
Yeah.
Kids.
We get to be off the hook for a question. And so I'm going to start with Chris, who should come and see your talk at the conference?
I love this question. I would like to be able to speak with people who are actually quite over doing professional development or personal development and having to do homework with it. You know, when you go to a seminar and then you've got these new things you have to do and you have to try and implement it after you've been online and you get these things, you're supposed to do this thing now and you've got to fill it into your routine. I bring a personal growth that doesn't require homework. So I love chatting with people who are just a bit ready to not have to do so much and allow their unconscious to do the work for them. And I say that when I go like this because it's the unconscious sitting in the background all the way back here. The work that I do, whether it's through a presentation or when I work one-on-one, it's about getting that unconscious to start moving, to start changing. And we often think that it's our conscious that needs to make all the changes. But if we get the changes actually happening behind the scenes, that the natural result is the conscious will automatically change. So, it's people that are ready to just have that unconscious dealt with because they've probably done all the conscious stuff, but things are not quite moving. And that's my specialty. I don't do the physical strength. I don't do the variety of eating well. I focus just on unconscious energy. So if you're ready for that, then that's who I'd love to have a conversation with.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's a tough act to follow, but I know the rest of my heroes are up for it. So Wanda, who needs to come and see your talk at the conference?
Yeah, you would have to put me at the Chris, right? But that's okay. I'm gonna try to get there, Chris. So I really encourage supporting humans as resources. We're all resources, right? And we're all humans. So helping each other. But I want you to think about this. Commitment leads to ownership. Ownership leads to success. How committed are you to your business? And how successful do you want to be? So it really is more like how can we help each other as entrepreneurs? And I go back to my corporate days. Coming from corporate, we were resources, right? They used us. But now we have our own resources in our own business that we want to be successful. So having that respect and accountability to be able to have the different businesses that we're all in to resource out what we need or what they need, to other people, it helps to have that in our business as well. So, but the thing about it, once we decide that how we want to live our lives, like now, this is totally different pandemic. You don't know if you're going back to your job. Now is the time to say, what is my passion? What do I want to do? Let's get into your own business, and having that commitment in your own business and making it successful is so important. So I would love to have you come to our conference to hear about what I got to say. I mean, I got to say a lot more, but I'm making it short, Monica. I can start talking here. So. But no, definitely, I would love to say it. But supporting humans as resources is more than just that. It's more than doing that. So, thank
you very much, Wanda. Now, Batista.
Yes. Okay. So there's a lot of misconceptions and myths in the fitness industries, and a lot of people think it's hard and you have to sweat a lot and it's difficult and that's where I come in. The person that really is going to get a lot of my conversation is the person that is stuck in their bodies, that they want to get to the next level of their understanding, but from a different perspective, more like a brain muscle connection, where you can reclaim your body, but not from a lot of performing activities. That's not what it's about. I bring what I like to call the missing link to fitness consciousness. Okay, because my search when I got involved with the program I teach now was really to discover the missing link to the body, mind, spirit integration, because I saw a lot of people that were stuck in spirituality and in different areas of life, myself included, but it was more like from a intellectual perception, but I felt like owning your own body is it was missing. It was missing for me, and I saw a lot of suffering around, and that's what I bring to the table. I discovered a lot of principles to achieving a pain-free life. Pain-free. I used to have a lot of injuries. I have no more injuries. At 61 years old, I am stronger than ever, healthier than ever. I leg press 650 pounds if you want to know. You don't have to do that. But what I'm saying is you can tap into an inner strength physically that will actually get you stronger mentally, emotionally, intellectually, on all levels, because all the bodies are connected. And in my talk, I'm going to talk about that. And it's going to open some doors of knowledge and understanding. And so if you're that person that would want to know about that, then you would be really enjoying my talk.
So that was 3 of 24 breakout sessions, just three spaces. And, you know,
I'm so excited.
I know,
Can't
right?
believe it, but
I don't have to work.
61.
All the
61.
Just
Hashtag
like
goal.
The fountain of youth. The fountain
like
of
you.
youth. There you
Look
go.
like you. Yep.
I'm like, wait a second. So
I'm sorry.
I know Marcia was like, "What?" I saw her face. Thank goodness she her mic.
I'm still like in shock. Okay, but anyway, okay.
I'm shocked over how many pounds you lift up, Batista?
I leg press 650.
Woo.
And I chest press 135. Yes,
Woo.
ma'am.
That's what I thought you. And at 61, girl, you go ahead. I'm
Fierce.
And you know the best part? I am pain-free. I get up in the morning, I have no backache, no shoulder pain, no knee pain, no nothing.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it never used to be like this. I used to have a lot of injuries, but I discovered the principles to achieve that. And I'm going to talk about that because too many misconceptions. It's keeping people stuck. They think about fitness, oh, this thing I have to do. It's hard. I'm going to suffer. I'm going to sweat. Nah.
So
all three of you sound great.
Yes, they do.
So what's interesting is I remember when I used to do strength training and I would work out and I wouldn't sweat. I was not a sweater when I was younger. And now I'm like sweating profusely anytime I do anything. And I was like, oh, when she said that, it triggered me because, of course, guys, I've had a deeper conversation with Batista, so I understand what she's talking about. But I was like, oh, that's why I didn't sweat when I was doing like weight training, like actually strength training. I didn't sweat like ever. I ran track, 400 no less, no sweating, just able to kind of perform. And so yeah. If you at all are interested in figuring out the secret of the Fountain of Youth, the next global virtual conference actually has the secret. And so you need to come and hang out with us. But if I want to add in, and Andrea and Marcia and Peggy can also kind of add a little context and color to it as well. But I want to add that this is not just a summit. I know you are probably of hearing, oh, another virtual summit. Yay, another one. This is not that. True. This is 2 days of actionable, usable information. And you do the work those 2 days. You don't leave and have to do a lot of homework like Chris was saying.
I mean, unless
Right?
you want to, because you'll be busy. How do I call them? Can I get a little thing? I need to go on calendar. You'll be
Your
busy
homework will be,
connecting.
I need to get on
It's
that
true.
person's calendar, not I have all these things I have to do. And I'll just put it on my desk and I'll come back to that later. This is not that conference. This conference is really about actionable change. And I want to tell you, the MinkLife Motivation Principles is about that as well, because when I set out to do this program, I did not want another rah-rah session. I cannot take now one more, you got this, you're amazing, this, that, and the other. And then we're all like, yes. And we walk out the door and can't figure out what to
Yep,
actually do
it's
with that
true.
information.
It's
Wah,
And
wah,
so,
wah. Yeah.
yeah, so you're like, yes, I'm fired up to,
What do
I'm
I
not sure
do
exactly
now?
what I'm supposed to be doing, but
Yup.
I'm fired up for it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I did not want another one of
No.
those experiences. I cannot contribute to that landscape anymore. We are done with that, over, moved on. And so, so this conference is about actually actioning on what you want to do for your life, for your business, for your branding, and for your networking. And the conversations are not just the same old conversations you've heard over and over again. They are deep, they are powerful, they are silly, light. You get your whole life. It is so entertaining. And so 2 days, January 23rd and 25th, if you want to see these ladies, bring it, because it's already been brought it. You just got to show up. I need you to come to the conference on January 23rd and 24th. Last question of the day, because it is all about gaining knowledge. And we want to make sure that our viewers actually get the opportunity to gain knowledge. And so the question is, or should I say the statement is, share one tip and keep it kind of narrow because we got 10 minutes left. So one tip for building your life and business better this year. Stronger, better, faster, most amazing, more fulfilled. We want all of those tips. So one solitary tip. Just one. I know you guys have a lot, but I need you to reserve it for the conference. So one tip. And I will start with our guest first, and then we will do our co-host after. And so, Chris, what is your one tip to build your life and business better this year?
All right, I'm going to go super practical because we're all allowed to do this. With your bare feet, no shoes involved, go and stand on Mother Earth. Just stand on the grass, stand on dirt. I don't care what it is, it's not allowed to be cement. And connect. When we do that, there's something about being purposeful around connection, and it's a physical transformation might be too strong of a word, but it's such a practical thing to just completely recenter in the moment. If you're feeling frustrated with, I don't know, the kids being on Zoom in the next room, it's, you know, when you have a 2-year-old that you just need to distract with something else because they're getting into stuff and you just really don't want them going there. So you just pick them up and you move them. Going and standing on the earth is a really good way of picking yourself up and distracting you with connecting back to yourself. So that's my very practical tip for today.
It was worth the price of admission, baby. Okay, so that was great.
Yeah.
Okay, Batista, what about you?
Let's see, what do you think I'm going to say? You know what? Yoga is great. Walking is great. Swimming is great. Hiking, whatever is great. But you know what? Just consider strength training. Just consider strength training. You're not going to get bulky. You're not going to, you know what I mean? Forget all the things that you think. It doesn't have to be painful. You're not going to look like a guy. But the benefit that it's going to give you, that strength, you don't get it anywhere else. Okay. And if you want to learn to do it right, then of course, call me, right? But generally speaking, really try to keep an open mind and just learn about what strength training can do for you and your life and your business, your relationships, and everywhere. Because when you're stronger, life is easier.
Oh, yeah.
If you could do some strength training while you're standing on the grass, you could do a twofer right here.
Oh yeah, and we have a program for that.
Do some weightlifting while you're standing on grass. You can ground and
we have a program for that. We teach a whole program that you can do with workout bands, and you can take them to the park. Literally.
One exercise, 2 things knocked out. Bam, bam. Okay, Wanda, what about you? What is the one tip?
I can't compete with that. I'm gonna go with the business wise, building a relationship, right? Building that relationship with whatever you do, going with your passion, and being committed. So relationship, passion, and commitment is what I say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that fast enough?
Oh, that is perfect. Peggy?
I think that everybody should do something that you've never done before. Learn something that you've never learned before. Challenge yourself. It doesn't have to have anything to do with your business, but it is going to make you a more fuller person. And those things that you bring in will help you in your business, because you will see the world from a different angle. And I always think it's important to try something new, try something that scares the crap out of you. Go learn it. I'm currently in an improv class. It's an online improv class, but it's scary but it's fun, and it pushes me outside of my normal boundaries of safety and comfort. And, so just go do something that you've always thought, that's really fun, but I just can't do that. Go do it. Just go do it. That's going to help your business.
Oh yeah. Marcia?
I would say spend 15 minutes getting quiet. Because with your family in the other room, or your child is like constantly with you, 15 minutes, go in the bathroom if you have to, and just get really quiet, seriously, and say, okay, everybody, I need 15 minutes by myself. Because when you have all these things running through your head and going on Zoom, or having to run to the store, run errands real quick or whatever, that stuff can overwhelm you, and it can cause you to get kind of foggy. But if you get quiet and center yourself for like 15 minutes at least, or, if you can't do 15 minutes, do 5 or 10, just try it, I think you get better, but I prefer 15 because that helps me to do better. So, and that's the balance between the life and business. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah.
You can focus better afterwards. Believe it or not, try it.
Andrea?
Well, here I am leading up the rear, and so
I knew it was coming.
But no, I'm glad, because everyone gave such great tips. I totally believe in grounding. I'm a firm believer in some HIIT training, especially if you say you're too busy. All right, do 7 minutes with some weights, okay? Right? Like, so everyone got that. You said about perseverance. I'm a meditator, so I'm going to say do something about meditating. And Peggy trying something new, because brain needs new things to see different ways. And so I was like, okay, they're ticking them off. All right, what do I got left? Let me reach into my pocket. And so I was like kind of relieved no one said this, because all of these are great. And I want everyone to just lean into love and gratitude. You know what? Like, in that meditation, if you know what to think about quietly for 15 minutes, I have a frantic friend. I was like, can you just think of 5 things every day that you're grateful for? And by the time you get to that 5th one, I'm like, tell me how you feel. She says, that really works. I'm like, I know. It's a nice redirect for our monkey brains. So, so in that, like, I start my day with that. No matter what, I'm going to meditate anyway, but I always start with that sort of, okay, I woke up today, grateful. I'm healthy, grateful. It really gets easy after a while. You're going to see all the things you are. And then just remember all the love you can give and the love you're getting. So that's lean into your love and gratitude.
Absolutely. And like Andrea said, everyone ticked off all the good stuff. There's lots of good stuff out there though. But I would have to say my one tip is to surround yourself with the greats. And I don't mean like literally, right? But like watching someone who achieved something that was impossible, and hearing their struggles and how it was hard for them to get there, and seeing what obstacles it came up to. So find the greats, find the best in every industry, or anything you think, oh my God, I love this. If you like Nike shoes, find out why Nike is so great. If you like, I don't know, blue hair dye, find out who was the inventor of blue hair dye, right? And find out how they became something that you became passionately in love with, and study them. I've done that this quarantine time. I've spent a lot of time watching the greats, and they made me feel less crazy. So they really did make me feel like, oh, you mean it wasn't easy? You didn't just appear like, oh, voila, yes, multi-million-dollar company. It wasn't an overnight thing. It just reminds you that you are on a hero's journey.
That's right.
And where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. And you just have to keep putting in the work now so that you can get to where you're trying to go in life and in business, right? And so if you see a great relationship, study that relationship, whatever it is, but just surround yourself with the great. That's my one tip. I got lots of tips all the time, but that is the tip that I'm gonna go with this time. So it is that time where we get to have our guests share their most amazing things that are happening. And as you can see, this batch of heroes are all really kind of movers and shakers in their own right. And so I'm excited to be able to share with you what they are doing in their world. So we are going to start with Chris. What is happening in your world? How can people connect with you? How do you want to share your genius?
Oh, great questions. All right. So the best way to connect with me is through my website. Now, you'll have to remember to add the .au at the end, but it's balancecentral.com.au. Make sure you get the AU in there, because then you'll find me. That said, the greatest thing I've got coming up is the conference. Actually, that's something, because for me in my world, to attend that, there's a whole lot of buffer days either side of it. So I'm preparing it like I'm traveling to the US for a few days and then traveling home again. So I will have jet lag, I will have the whole lot. It's all going to be on, and I'm employing my husband to make sure he feeds me at appropriate times, like you'd get in business class, you know. So that's happening for January. You know, at the moment, I'm actually, because I work with people around the world, I am pretty much constantly doing the work for my clients based in the Middle East and in the UK. And as we all know, US, UK, Middle East is where most of this pandemic is playing out in a big way and not necessarily a good way. So it's something that I'm probably reflective of what I said before. I have to remain, it's kind of almost good that I'm in Australia where we don't have so much pressure, so that I can show up for everyone who is under pressure. And so it's about, for me, really, I'm going to go back to keeping space. I'm keeping space to have those conversations, connecting with people like you guys, which I've done a little bit of over the last few months. There's just conversations that I didn't know I would need to have, and yet I've got the space for it. So I don't have a big announcement. I'm not running a webinar or a workshop or anything online, but I'm always available for a conversation that's easily achievable through my website. And that's just because I like to have a chat. There's no obligation in that chat. I don't come with an agenda. I just like having conversation. So it's not really an announcement, but it's how I like to show up for others. And this room that I'm in is the space that I come to be able to do that. So I'm just showing up for all of the conversations that need to happen.
Awesome. Peggy, what you got going on in your world?
You know, I just finished an intensive online filmmaker school. So I'm kind of taking the film production on this year, focusing on commercials for corporate America and entrepreneurs and small businesses and anybody who needs to either have a commercial or a promo video for their website. So that is my big 2021 reveal that I've, kind of kept, hidden for a while until I'm like, you know what, I can do this. So that's kind of it. That's nothing else too exciting. Again, really just being very cautious with the pandemic and doing what we're supposed to do, and learning how to maneuver in this world.
Nice. Batista, what you got going on in your world?
Great. So actually what we have going on is this week we're doing a 5-day challenge. It's called the Zoomed Out Challenge. Get your body back. And less is more, right? People are busy. They don't want to have to think that they need to work out an hour a day. So in this Zoomed Out Challenge, I picked 5 exercises specifically for people that do stay in front of Zoom and are working online, that are going to kind of just get the flow going and, get the energy going, strengthen certain areas of your body that need strengthening when you sit a lot. Guess what they are? But also not only what you think, but like carpal tunnel and wrists. So I picked 5 specific exercises that I'm going to teach, 1 each day. The first day was today. So you haven't missed it, because if you join today, you can see the replay on Facebook, and then you can register and you can still do the next 4 days. So it'll be awesome. So if you want to go to my Facebook page, all the information about how to join the Zoomed Out Challenge, get your body back. And this has to do with just spending maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's it, just to make small shifts that are going to make a huge difference. So I would love to have everybody join that. And if you miss it because you're watching this next week or some other time, then just go to our website and schedule a one-on-one talk, because I am also liking to have conversations, because I'm also available to just share and be a support for those who need it. So
Absolutely. Andrea?
Well, following that up, I thought you were going to go through all the guests first. So I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting.
I'm zigzagging.
Chit chat. So I am actually getting ready to start my series of cleanses up. They're starting January 21st. I don't cleanse in the typical way of like straw and icky things to eat. So in order for people to understand that, I have some getting started classes. So they're happening the 13th and the 15th. So people can go, it's a cleanse? I'm like, yes, it's a cleanse, because it's really a 360-degree look at your life and like systems and strategies to glow up better, right? Like, to show up and feel good at the same time, mind, body, and spirit. So I think the link is in somewhere that the magical Alana has put it in the chat, or I hope you're putting it in the chat, or I'll put it in the chat to get people to come. So yeah, I'd love to see you guys there. We're kicking it off on the 21st. So good times. I'm really excited. But I'm really excited to, Batista, you and I have to talk, because I see great synchronicity here in terms of helping people who are like, I have to lose weight. I'm like, you just need to get in some harmony and it'll be fine. And I got some people I want you to know. So I'm really excited to talk. And you're just down the corner, so even better. So hey, thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica, for picking up another cool friend for me. But there you go.
I'm just out here in these streets picking up.
Out here in these streets, just hustling.
Ooh, you're good for the collection. Let me add you.
I got something to show you.
Oh yeah. And technically, this is an arena collector. Arena is my co-partner in the collecting of people. But yes, excited. Okay. So next we have Wanda. What you got going on next?
So I got a lot of stuff going on. this is January is my getting yourself together, your goals set. So I have a webinar on Thursday, January 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So just so you know, it's Eastern Standard Time. And it's called, Do You Know How Credit Can Affect Your Finances? Let's get the solutions. And the great thing about this is that I've been meeting people on our V team, virtual international team. And this particular guy, when he talked about this, I thought I knew everything about credit, but this is a good one. This is going to be a really good one. So I'm praying, but you can get everything from my website. Then I have another one on January 18th from my friend Chris from Australia. Will Goal Setting Myths Derail Your Dreams? That is on January 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Chris, I don't know what time I think it's 8 or 9 o'clock your time. I'm not sure, but I go by his time, and we've converted to the Eastern Standard Time. So that's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. PST time. And then the next one I have, January 20th, is Don't Leave Your Business and Personal Data to Chance for Thieves to Steal. That is cybersecurity. I got this great guy. That's on January 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about cybersecurity. And I'm going to talk about identity theft that we actually also handle, because look what happened with the government, right? So this is actually all in tune to what's going on. And then I got Monica's conference.
It's not my conference, it's y'all's conference. I am just here to offer a humble stage to all of your sage wisdom. So it is not just my conference, but it is all of yours as well.
Oh, absolutely. And you can get all of that on my website. My website is wdpearsonassociates.com. My events are all in there. I have they're actually, my son-in-law and daughter actually did my website. So all of my events are in there. You can go on there and check out what I'm doing.
Perfect. And last but not least, Marcia.
So everybody, the Hive is opening up, which is a community of creatives and entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that support each other. They seek a space where they can connect and support each other and share ideas and experiences. So that opens up February 2nd. And also the Busy Entrepreneur's Guide Toolkit Series, Volume 1, Build a Better Brand in 30 days or less. Develop the what is it called? What is it, Andrea? Monica? No, it's like set the foundation for the brand. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Everywhere.
You notice how she asked us what the name of her business
is? Yep, Andrea and Monica, what is it? So all of those are coming out February 2nd. So
wow.
Stay tuned.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Because we're running out of time, I'm gonna run through these last slides really quickly. So Mastermind Power Mixer is a way for us to come together. You can meet more community members like the people on this call, all of these heroes that we have around us. You can share commercial about what's happening in your business, because we want to know how we can support you. And you'll also learn and understand how you can grow your business with MinkLife Motivation as a strategic partner, as a trainer, or as someone who can use the tools that we have created. And so that is Thursdays, and we will add a link to this. My favorite slide means we got to yet another end of another show. So I want to thank Alana Jackler for being the producer of this show. I want to thank all of my guests, including Chris, Batista, and Wanda, my co-hosts, Marcia and Andrea, and Peggy. And I want to say you have the power to activate the vision within, and you can be a hero in your own life. And remember, sharing is caring. So if you found this information nice and interesting, please, please, please hit the share button, put it in someone's inbox, have them understand what they can do to really activate the hero within themselves. I am so excited to have been in this time and space with you, and can't wait to see you next week. Everyone say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye, everybody.